talk to me, have you seen a spike in the numbers, of child abuse in Prince George's County?
Well, Keisha, actually, my concern is that we have seen a significant decrease in reports, and reports are what drive our ability to investigate. So this time last year, we had for March 2019, we had over 900 reports of abuse and neglect. For March of 2020, we only had 246 calls. So this is of grave concern to me because the people who work with us to protect children are mandatory reporters, which include educators, law enforcement, medical professionals. They're not laying eyes on these children, and therefore the reports have decreased.
And, what should neighbors be looking out for? Should neighbors be kind of, helping to fill that gap? What should they be looking out for?
Well, yeah, the African proverb, it takes a village, is very much true. And protection of our children is everybody's responsibility. While there are reporters who are mandated to report, the whole village is responsible for reporting issues and concerns that impact children and vulnerable adults. I don't want to leave my vulnerable adults out of the equation as well. We offer training, and we are actually offering it virtually now through our child abuse and neglect training unit to the community around what to look for. Is the child withdrawn? Are there unexplainable bruises on a child? Is the child acting in a way that is abnormal for that child? There are a number of flags that people have to pay attention to.
And what advice would you have for families who are experiencing something like this right now?
Right. So the first thing I will say is, if you know of families who have children, check in on them. See if they have any needs that are being unmet, and see what you can do to refer them to resources or help them identify resources to meet those unmet needs. Because like I said, the stress in many instances drives the frustration that often results in abuse and neglect. So it's reaching out. And families, there are resources for families. For instance, one of our partners in this work is the Family Tree. And the Family Tree offers a 24-hour hotline for parents to call in and get emotional support, to get referral to resources and whatnot. And they even have an online chat option. So, when parents recognize that they're getting to that point, there are resources available, and I would be happy to share that phone number with you for families to reach out and seek support. And then I would say, as a parent, sometimes there's no restriction on letting that child go outside and play and burning up some of that energy that they have, or engaging them otherwise. We've got to be creative. This pandemic is making all of us reach deep inside ourselves to identify our our creative nature. We've got to, be creative with how we help our young people, our children, funnel some of that energy, because they're frustrated as well, and they're stressed as well. And so some of their actions or behaviors may not be consistent with the child that you have raised. And so we've got to figure out ways to help them channel some of that energy as well.
Now, can you talk about, some of the resources that you do provide for child abuse?
Well, what we want to do is intervene and offer supports, determine whether or not with support that child can be safe in that home. Identify family resources to support that child and that family. If we determine that child is just not safe in that home, then we're going to work with kin and other. That's our first option, to try to find a refuge for that child. If we have to bring them into care, we will bring them into foster care. We are still conducting investigations. We are still interacting with all of our youth in care. It's critically important right now. And we are still in the community.